the difference between Brazil and Argentina. When Milei, who's a friend of yours, you were at his inauguration, you went and you returned back to Brazil. Who was Milei's biggest enemy in Argentina? Did Milei have an Alexandre de Moraes that was not happy about him winning? Was there somebody like that?
You know, no one believed in Milei either. You know? But he ended up winning, and he is a good economist. And he started implementing his project that also considers workers' benefits, and Argentina started to succeed again. So much so that the Argentine peso has greatly increased in value. Today you see Argentinians on vacation in Brazil, but you don't see Brazilians on vacation in Argentina. So these measures, they are painful, but you have to take them. But discussing these subjects before the elections is basically a political suicide. And we have so much potential in Brazil as well, if we could do just like Trump, who is going to explore oil, indigenous reserves, environmental protection areas, you know. If we do the same thing in Brazil, we will show the world that we are on the right track. We have, for example, in Brazil, a state in the north called Roraima. Every country needs energy, right? In Roraima, there is a river called Rio Cotingo. In the Rio Cotingo area, you have 12 kilometers of length by 600 meters. It's a huge drop, so we would be able to generate energy for like at least 1/3 of Brazil, or maybe even half of the country. Because it is a huge volume of water, but you can't do anything because it's an indigenous reserve. In other words, you would be able to leave that state of poverty without sacrificing the population that already doesn't earn much. They don't earn much and they have to accept it because there is no alternative. In Brazil, the Bolsa Familia program has made and continues to make sure that certain small towns in the interior of Brazil don't disappear. Because it is that money that drives the economy in those small towns. So I know that the Bolsa Familia program, it may have its aspects that aren't very beneficial, but there's the humanitarian side that cannot be overlooked.
Yeah, I guess I'm asking that question because in 2018 when you ran on law and order. You ran on, different types of policies. You had anti-corruption, anti-establishment, economic liberalization. That's what you talked about in 2018 when you ran, right? Milei ran on the what was going on with their currency. Afuera, we're going to get rid of this, we're going to get rid of this. I mean, really, Milei was the first Doge, right? Where Department of Governmental Efficiencies, Milei was talking about that for Argentina. And even though the country is a socialist nation, they still supported him for him to be able to run on that. If you were able to run right now for 2026, and you are obviously running directly and indirectly, what are 2 or 3 things you're campaigning on?
When I took office, I eliminated 20,000 commissioned positions with free appointment. We don't conduct public exams except for the federal police and the federal highway police. We reduced the number of employees. We have started the administrative reform. And that reform was going to be applied to civil servants who took office starting from the passing of that law. We had the issue from the left wing saying it was bad for everyone. And this caused us a lot of harm during the elections. But if that reform doesn't happen at some point, the tendency is for public servants in Brazil to end up not receiving their salary. Because, we can't just run the mint to print more money because it's actually the monetary expansion that leads to inflation. And I travel throughout Brazil like I'm going to do soon. I'll be in the Northeast as well, and I will meet with the sector with sugarcane producers, and I meet with the entrepreneurs, and I also meet with the working masses on the same day. So slowly we are managing to introduce this discussion, and they believe in me. And it is a sacrifice, but we have to do it now so we can be happy later. Now, if you leave it as it is, everybody is going to suffer. And Brazil is huge, and because of its size, it is a country that has the greatest mineral wealth in the world. We have great biodiversity, a huge amount of arable lands, drinking water. We have natural beauties, a pleasant climate. If we run it right, there is no way this country won't succeed. The problem is who is leading Brazil right now. The people believe in me, they trust me. And I'm sure that coming back to power without these constraints of justice, we will be able to put Brazil back on track. And also we are going to expand our international relationships, especially with the United States.
I'm only asking because I wonder the campaign today with the climate in Brazil, knowing that they control Supreme Court, how do you get the people behind it? Economy would be one. When the approval rating is as low as it is, I think a part of it's got to be sticking to economy, how small business owners, because what Trump did, Trump got Saudi Arabia to come, hey, we're going to put $1 trillion and another bank, $500 billion. We're going to invest $100 billion. We're going to invest $200 billion because the climate to invest in U.S. got better where money's coming from outside, right? For you, I mean, that helps Americans. If money's coming in, that $1 trillion is hundreds of thousands of jobs, okay? Good paying jobs, many more opportunities for others. That's good for the economy. What can you be doing, and I don't even know if it's happening right now under Lula, to get other companies, other countries to say, you know what, we feel so optimistic about the future of Brazil that we want to invest billions of dollars in Brazil. What can you do for that to happen here as well?
So first of all, I believe that the current government scares any investor. I can safely say that I'm the complete opposite of Lula. For instance, I support privatization. I support the free market. And I would place people that I know in the ministries. People who are a lot similar to those who were part of my government in the past. So people that I trust, who were competent and honest people. And this is very common in South America, right? And Brazil is no different. It is very common for a government to end its term with multiple accusations of corruption, legal disputes, or with some people going to prison for corruption. That didn't happen in my administration. For instance, when Trump talks about energy, back when I was president, I received a proposal from an Arab country. They offered $1 billion to invest in the Bay of Angra dos Reis, to turn it into a Brazilian Cancun. But if we wanted to accept this investment, we needed to revoke a decree. Decrees are presidential, right? But only the parliament can repeal an environmental decree. I wasn't able to revoke that decree, so we couldn't accept the investment and we lost 1 billion reais. And many governors, when they learned about this possibility, they started reaching out to me. And we have this same issue in my state as well, in Rio de Janeiro. So that's to say that we need to review the environmental legislation in Brazil. If we don't do that, the country really has no way to breathe freely in the economy. And when I say that, I mean for the people to be able to dream of better days for themselves, you know? So when I reached the presidency, obviously just like in Trump's second term, he started his government more prepared and with a better team. And if you want to make a real change, you really have to attack the deep state, you know what I mean? You have to undermine the swamp, you know, drain the swamp. You can't just do nothing. You can't just arrive here with only peace and love. You need to have a plan, a good proposal. To make it so that the ministries that are staffed, official banks that are staffed, and state-owned companies as well. We need to start making movements in Brazil to inspire confidence abroad. Today we have a recall from this previous government that the world out there looks at us. We had Brazil's interest rate at 2% per year. Now it's 13%. There's no way this country can function like this. You can't fight inflation just by raising interest rates. It's a very simple remedy, but it has its limits. And this medicine of increasing interest is killing Brazil. Both countrymen and entrepreneurs are getting more and more into debt each day. And they are sitting there just watching this pile of money associated with banks exponentially grow. So all of this, these proposals, the general feeling of the people, the image that we are sending to others, they know from their experience during my government that we're going to do something better now. And also follow the example of President Trump. But for me, the main goal is to tackle all these problems in Brazil head-on. I know it can be solved. The way I see it, when the people are on my side, they are stronger than any other institution in Brazil.
Brazil, I'm so glad you're watching this. I want to tell you something here. Do you know what's the one thing tyrants or criminals in politics, in your government, you know what's the one thing they hate? Is for the people to have hope. It's been said, man and women can live 40 days without food, 4 days without water, 4 minutes without air, but only 4 seconds without hope. When I was in Brazil, we had dinner with Nicolas Ferreira. And while we're having dinner, we gave him a shirt and we took a picture together. It's called Future Looks bright with Brazilian flag. I would love nothing more than to see thousands and thousands of people in Brazil to wear a shirt that says future looks bright with your flag. Just for Brazil, we made these custom shirts for you. If you want to inject the spirit of hope in Brazil, go place 1 order, 2, 3, buy it for your peers, your family. Click on a link below or go to vtmerch.com and sport your future looks bright shirt in Brazil. Let the dictators, let the tyrants get so angry the fact that you are optimistic about the future. If you enjoyed this video, you want to watch more videos like this, click here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click here.